Yes, Lord. This is Deuce Wayne, and this is the Yellow Tape Podcast, episode 22. And with me, as you can see, we're back for round two. But before we get to that, I want to introduce my two co-hosts, Fikes, Mr. Detroit,
What up, though?
and Tokyo Smokey Yo. And also, he is back, ladies and gentlemen. Back for round two. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how much help I would be, you know what I'm saying? But I hope we learned just as much as we did the first time we would go around. But Mr. David Weiss, man, Flat Earth Dave, you know what I'm saying?
All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So do you guys want to go with y'all questions first? Or
I
mean, we got the guest here, man. You know, if anything, he got to, get off.
I'm
back for round two. You guys must have some questions. I mean, there's other stuff we can go over, but at this point, you guys had a good amount of time to think about it. You should have some other questions, or maybe you've really been researching and looking at the videos on the app, and you've got it all figured out.
Oh, yeah, I definitely checked out the app. The app on there. There was the one part that I really, when I was asking you last time, because I really didn't know what I was talking about. I just want to be part of the conversation. But the one question I was having about the eclipse, and I'm pretty sure he didn't make this response after he seen you on our podcast because we're a small time, but I'm gonna assume he did anyway. But he was explaining
who's he?
What's the guy? I don't want to share him out. Is it Professor Dave? No,
oh boy. So Professor Dave, Byman Dan, there's a whole group of government paid shills. We've already proven that they're all working together. They have the same stupid person making their thumbnails.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. But he not Professor Dave, I call him, and Byman Dan, these guys make these snarky videos, but they will never talk to us live. They will never.
I wanted to
destroy them.
I always wondered that. Like I was watching his stuff, he seemed a little snappy about it.
They're snarky. They're for the weak-minded. They're like, and they just play into people's confirmation bias, and they never offer anything. They always gaslight us, make fake arguments for us, but they'll never talk to us live because they can't, because they'll be destroyed.
Right. So I know one question that I had was, I don't know if we got into it last time, was that, do you believe there are other planets that's else on the solar system also, or are you just one of those things that could be like propaganda?
Well, if we look at planets, this is the planet Mars through a P900 super zoom camera. Doesn't look like anything you could stand on to me. Kind of looks like an energetic source, in the liquid of space. We believe that space is most likely water above and water below, just like it says in the Bible. God separated the waters from the waters, but we from things that we've seen going high in the sky, it sure looks like and acts like water. And I believe that the atmosphere gets thicker and thicker up there. It becomes liquid, and then it becomes solid. Maybe that's the glass dome above us. And then the lights that we see are being projected through that. Don't know. Again, anything above our head is speculation, but they're certainly not planets. I mean, this is what stars look like. They don't look like burning balls of hydrogen, the 20 trillion miles away or hundreds of trillions of miles away. That's nonsense. You couldn't see something 2 light hours away, let alone light years away.
Absolutely. I'm not a math major, so when it comes to the numbers, I'm just gonna let you know you have no argument here from me, because
but you don't have to be a math major. Just understand that the numbers they throw at you are ridiculous. Did I ask you guys last time how long you think 1 trillion seconds is?
No, I don't believe so.
All right, 1 trillion seconds. Just take a guess. If you guess it within a week, I'll give you a Bitcoin. Go ahead.
It's a week, right?
7 days? You think 1 trillion seconds is about a week? How long do you think 1 trillion seconds is? Just take a guess. All three of you.
I'm gonna say week.
Okay.
You're
gonna say a year?
I'm going with.
Just feel like the price is right.
Come on.
I know
Come on. Just
it's
guess.
stressful though.
It has to be in the
month?
years. It has to be in the years.
Guess.
Oh,
You gonna guess?
I'm gonna go with a good. If any guess I'm gonna throw is gonna be with a number. So 5 months.
5
I mean, not
months.
5 months.
10 years. 10
5
years.
years.
Let me go 10
5 years.
Yeah.
10 years.
He
10
going
years.
10.
Well, you're Robert, right?
Yeah.
Robert, you're the closest. 31,000 years. Okay. So yeah, 1 trillion seconds is 31,000 years. And they're telling us that now you know how big a trillion is. We're seeing stars that are 100 trillion miles away.
Okay.
Okay.
I got
You don't
you.
have to be a math major. You just have to have some common sense and not listen to their nonsense.
Right. Because I didn't want to bring the stuff he was saying in there because I think he was being a little bit spicy.
Oh,
his-
Professor Dave is a paid dork, shill, idiot going to hell. Okay. He has no soul. He sold his soul. My camera, I have an autofocus problem. He sold his soul, and and anyone that watches that and believes that is just lazy because they're just listening to his snarky attitude, and he's got professor in front of his name. Well, I'm Professor Dave too. There you go. Flat Earth Professor Dave.
Hey, we rock with you over here at YTP. Any of you guys want to chime
You
in?
guys are
whatever?
smarter than Professor Dave.
Well,
By the way, that was not an
be a
insult. That was not. Don't take that as an insult.
No. This might be a stupid question then, but
There's no stupid questions.
Do you think other planets are flat or in the realm, or are they in our same like?
Man, what a stupid question.
Yeah, that was so stupid.
I seen that coming a trillion miles away.
So they've programmed us to believe that, the flat earth is a disk floating in space with other planets. There
Mhm.
are no planets. There are no planets. Everything that we see in the sky is our lights. We don't know what they are. I think that stars are souls. Prove me wrong. Okay. Planets, there's no terra firma inside this dome here. So when you talk about extraterrestrials, they come from the extra territory in the outer space. We live here in the inner space. This extra territory is where the extraterrestrials would be coming from the outer space. That makes a lot of sense, right? You're looking down on this giant pond. You got these islands, right? And it's melted here because this sun is oscillating in here, melting this out, and this sun is oscillating out here as it circles all the way around, right? There you go. That makes sense.
What are those suns?
Yeah, that's something new from the from the last bias that I didn't get either, because if there's no other planet, then those the suns, that you explained it now is new to me.
Yeah, so the sun is not a gas ball in a giant vacuum that we're falling around. Think about this, right? In the heliocentric model, you got your sun, and then you have your Earth, and it's falling around the sun like this, right? Mm-hmm. The sun's gravity is holding onto the Earth, and the Earth is falling towards the sun, but it's moving at just the rate though it's falling around the curve of the sun. That's how they explain what a fucking orbit is, all right?
Yeah.
Then out here, we have another planet that the sun is holding on to, and it is going around Mars, and then Saturn, and then Jupiter, and the sun is holding on to all of them, right? So they're all doing this thing. Their gravities don't affect each other, but only the sun's gravity affects holds on to the planets. But for some crazy reason, Earth has gravity and it's holding on to the moon, right? How come the moon doesn't get ripped away by the sun? Like when the moon comes around the far side of the Earth towards the sun, how come it doesn't accelerate and just start orbiting the sun? And when it goes back around this side, how come it doesn't slow down? How come Jupiter has 5 moons or 4 or 5 moons, whatever, and there's all these other moons, but only their planets hold on to them, and how come the sun doesn't tug on any of them? How come when we have a planetary alignment, they don't all, tug on each other, right? Everything's on a perfect schedule. Eclipses repeat every 18 years. Stars reset every night, every year. Okay. You go out tonight, look at the stars, and go out 2 years from now, same night, same time, stars will be in the exact same position.
So I got a question for you. It's kind of off topic, but what was happening? What was that? Was it the super moon yesterday or a pink moon or whatever?
Pink moon, yeah, something like that.
Do you
Was it
believe in that
actually
stuff?
pink? I didn't see that it was actually pink. It looked
I
regular
couldn't.
color to me.
I couldn't tell you. It looked regular to me. I don't know where the pink was coming from.
I didn't
Whoops.
know that happened.
Yeah. So when you hear of a blue moon, it's not that the moon is blue. A blue moon is when you have a second full moon inside of a calendar month. That's it. It's just a name. I think the pink moon is the first super moon of the year, which is a full moon when it's closer to us. The moon oscillates in between the tropics. And there's times where it's closer or farther. I'm not exactly sure, in their nonsensical model. It makes no sense to me. But I don't know if it's actually pink. But, when there's a lunar eclipse, sometimes the moon turns red. And that's because it ain't the shadow of the fucking earth that's doing it. Its light is being filtered by some other dark body up there. We don't know exactly how some of these things happen in the eclipse, but what we can prove that it's not the earth. Like in a lunar eclipse, that's when the earth's shadow is on the moon. And Bill Nye, the lying guy with the bow tie, has told us a million times that it has to be a sphere, because if it was a disc and it turned sideways, it would look like this.
Yeah, like
and that's not the case. For an eclipse to happen, the sun, the moon, the earth, and the moon have to be in an exact line. Okay. So it's impossible to see an eclipse when the moon and the sun are both above the horizon at the same time. Well, there's been many documented eclipses where the observer can see the sun above the horizon, the moon above the horizon, and the last one, the shadow came in from the top. That's not right, because if this is the earth, right, and it's coming in to cause a shadow, that shadow is going to come in like this from the bottom. So what is this? I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of theories. There's a lot of ancient cultures that talk about, Rahu and Ketu, these dark bodies in the sky. But what we can scientifically prove is it's not the earth. Everything's off the table. Bill Nye is a lying, failed actor.
I'm formulating the question.
I guess I'll just wing it again. Also,
all right.
No,
go
okay.
ahead. Go ahead.
No, you got it.
So
I was just trying to carry it up.
I'm trying to figure out what's the point of proving that the earth is flat and or round. Like once you believe one or the other, is there
what difference does it make? Right?
Yeah.
So what if you lived in a giant apartment building and there was no windows and no doors? You're on the inside, 100 floors. You work on the 20th floor. The gym's on the 80th floor. There's a pool on the 30th floor. The shopping center's on the 10th floor, right? And that's all you ever knew. You grew up there as a baby, never ever questioned what's beyond there, okay?
Mm-hmm.
What difference does it make? What difference does it make? What difference does it make? You don't need to know what's beyond there, right? So they're hiding more land. They're hiding other continents. In the late 1800s, the New York Journal, now the New York Times, posted this ancient Japanese map that was found in Hawaii, I believe, that showed, what's that? Did I show you guys that last time?
No,
we didn't.
So this map was in the New York Journal, and it shows all of these other continents. Well, just imagine there was tyranny going on in the world. Imagine there was tyranny and oppression of the peasants. We're the peasants, by the way. We're the peasants. And you knew that there was other lands out here that were not tyrannical. Would you leave?
Yeah.
They need us. They need us to manifest their world for them, because this is how this world works, in my opinion. You can create everything you guys have in your life. You created with your mind. You've brought it into your reality by the way that you think. People bring riches, poverty, happiness, everything, just by the way that they think. They don't want us to know that our thoughts create our reality, and our emotions and our desires, right? Our humanness create that world. You need that emotional feelings. Your feelings and thoughts create the world. But your feelings and thoughts and emotions come from your soul. Because if you have no soul, you got nothing, right? And there's people here that have sold their souls for fame, power, and other reasons, right? And those people are the ones that are running the world, in my opinion. They've sold their souls to Satan or whatever you want to call it, just to evil. And they no longer have the ability to manifest. I don't believe that they have the ability. They need us to manifest that world for them. That's my opinion, right? And they're controlling us with their mind control, the newspapers, with the education system, with the indoctrination system. They're totally keeping us in fear. And they, you guys are, the only control that they have over you is in your head. It's just in your head. Nobody has control over you. I just listened to an episode. You guys want to learn some good shit? Crow 777 Radio Podcast. CRROW, 2 R's in Crow. 777 Radio, right? It's $5 a month, right? You can sign up for 1 month, download all 300 episodes, because the first hour is free, the second hour is the paid for, and then you will have better than a Harvard education. Every single episode is mind-blowing. They go in from faking space and flat earth and stuff. But the latest one was a guy, he drives his car. He has a car, no registration, no license, no driver's license, no insurance, right? And he drives it anywhere he wants. Got pulled over by the cops, and he, just through knowledge, showed the cops how he doesn't need a license, registration, license plate, driver's license, insurance, or anything to travel in his car from point A to point B. You're laughing.
Wait. Is he black or is he white?
That's a good question. I think he's white, but he's just, you have to listen to it. You know what? I'm going to give you guys this episode to listen to. I'll send you a link. Remind me at the end. I'll send you a link. You got to listen to this. And that's just the beginning, because every bit of control they have over you, we have inalienable rights. Well, they've taken them from us and we've agreed. So we've given them away because we're too stupid to say no. So that's what this is about. This is about control, about knowing who you are, where you are, what you are, the power of your mind. And they're hiding more land. They're hiding the fact that there's a creator. They're hiding the fact that we are powerful spiritual beings, that we have amazing powers that they don't want us to know about. And they've literally dumbed us down, poisoned us, and turned us into slaves. So that's why.
That's very interesting, because that was a question I had for you last time, but we didn't have enough time because it got cut short. Was when I was looking at all the podcasts and stuff you was on, I can't remember which one, but it was maybe 6 of the people maybe in there with you. And you brought up how you even got into, I think one of them asked you, how'd you even get into this whole flat earth thing? You were saying, hey, you used to be an atheist. And it was kind of to me, why I was really excited to bring you on is because you have a lot of parallels with as far as I don't trust the government. I don't trust them at all. I've all believe you can do anything you put your mind to. And it's curious and I had to speak to one of my atheist friends, and she wanted me to ask you this. So for someone who doesn't trust the government as much, why would you believe, I don't know if you do believe, if you're religious or not, but why would you believe in a God per se, or Allah?
I'm not religious at all. Not at all. I know there's a creator, because this place is a intelligently designed place. Mm-hmm. I look at God differently. I think that we're all that souls are the mind of God. And we all have a little piece of God in us. We have our soul. We have many souls. We have a main soul and we have a family of souls. And our souls travel in groups. And we're here having an experience expanding the mind of God. We chose to come here into this realm, have this experience, and we have just a couple simple rules. Don't lose control of your soul. Don't sell it. Don't lose control. And don't break anyone else's free will, or you lose control of your soul. You break someone else's free will, it has a karmic expense. So don't kill, don't rape, don't steal, be nice to your neighbor, and maintain control of your soul. And that's what, when you find out that this place is intelligently designed, you no longer have any excuse to deny that there is a creator Who's that creator? What's your personal relationship with them? That's your own personal journey. I'm not saying Christians are wrong, Muslims are wrong. Nobody's wrong. As long as you follow those basic rules, be a good person. You know, I call it Christ consciousness. We all have it. Christ consciousness is just be a good person. Don't break other people's free will and help your neighbor. That's it.
I agree 1000%.
I totally
Yeah.
agree.
And if you want to follow the Bible or the Quran or whatever, as long as you obey those laws I just gave you, you're doing it right. Okay? You're doing it right. That's what your experience is here. That's the experience you're going to have. It's really easy.
I dig it. I guess going back to the question of flat Earth. Can you hear me correct?
Yeah,
Loud
you
and
good.
clear?
Yeah.
All right. Just to go back to, you know, to why you here, sir. What is above us? As in, like, you know, we know stars and all that.
Yeah. So again,
Just,
the only
just
thing that
balls of
we
light,
can
stuff like that now from what you're telling us.
the only thing that
Oh,
we
go
can
ahead.
accurately say about the lights that we see in the sky is that they're lights. That's the only thing we can say. You know, NASA tells us that Venus is almost the same size as Earth. Well, I say Venus is the size of a basketball, right? You can't prove either one of us wrong because we don't know how far it is or how big it is or how bright it is or what it is. You know, when we look at stars, this is the star Sirius, right? That doesn't look like a terra firma, you know, or ball. You know, this is Arcturus, right? And that's not Arcturus, that's Capella, right? And then this is Arcturus. You can zoom in on this by yourself. You know, just get a P900 super zoom camera and zoom in. Look at this thing. What is it? Well, I don't know. Maybe stars are our souls, our energetic souls, and maybe the planets are, you know, they're all named after demigods. So what's up with that? You know, and their positions and movements affect our lives. Okay, I thought astrology was the dumbest thing ever my entire life, but now I realize
That
that's
was
the
one of
real
your questions,
science.
dude.
Yeah.
That's the real science.
Yeah. That's so so you kind of does that mean you adopt some of those ideals from astrology into this, or is
No, you know what? I'm not the astrologer. There, you know, the people that follow astrology do very well in this world. You know, they say, you know, millionaires have advisors or whatever, and billionaires have astrologers. So there's definite, they're like cheat codes in a video game. If you do things at certain times, you know, when certain things are happening, you have a better, they just come out better. But you don't even need to know. I just think that if you are following those rules, not breaking anyone else's free will, being a good person, becoming in tune with yourself, knowing where you are, knowing that you are the center of creation, not living in fear, knowing that there's no shortage of anything, then you're in tune and you do these things naturally. Nature is the only truth. Okay. Nature doesn't lie. You know, seeds grow when they're supposed to grow, and the leaves fall when they're supposed to fall. And, you know, nature is truth. So we're part of this world. We're connected to this world. You know, we're electrical beings that are connected to this electrical world. The entire world is a giant electrical system.
Do you believe in climate change? Well, man-made climate change.
No. Plain and simple. I mean, look at I mean, you guys are aware of geoengineering, the spraying of our skies, right? Right. It used to be the biggest conspiracy theory. Everyone's like, oh, you're crazy. Well, now, you know, all the patents are out and they admit that they're doing it. Bill Gates says he wants to put chalk in the sky. Well, they're putting way worse things than chalk. And they've been doing it for years. That elephant in the room, that's literally like saying, you know, imagine yourself in I don't know, in a china shop, and you have to be careful. Nothing's going to break. Well, you have a very angry bull in the china shop. That's climate. That's the spraying of the sky. And then you have a flea. That's all of the industrial pollution in the world. Okay. Which one is going to cause damage?
Definitely that.
Yeah.
bioengineering stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
the spraying of our skies is literally a war. To me,
Well,
I think that they're literally, there's a war going on above us, and that geoengineering isn't just about controlling the weather and warming and cooling the planet. I think it's a completely other spiritual war that's going on up there. You know, the heavenly bodies. You know, crazy flat Earth Dave thinks that there's intelligence in the clouds. Okay. Like water holds intelligence. Well, there's a non-physical realm right above us. And when you see what happens when they spray into a cumulus cloud, it just turns it into a slurry. You watch it, what's going on up there, there's a friggin' war going on. Crazy, right?
So that my next question was: do you believe that it's like a heaven to hell thing, or a part of a reincarnation? Like
That's a
you
dope
said, like
picture.
if they could be souls, and you know how babies come, like, you know, come in earth, and like you see like similarities to like some of your relatives inside that baby, you think that, oh, they born off of, you know, off of
like
that soul.
reincarnated.
Yeah,
Yeah,
reincarnated. So
I think that we travel in circles, and you know how the elite, they only marry within their own families. They literally keep their bloodlines pure because I
Mhm.
think they understand how genetic memory works. And when they die, you know, the elite make these plans that are 200 years in the making. You know, 150 years. Would you make a plan for 150 years from now? I don't think so. It doesn't make any sense to us. But maybe they know that they're going to be reborn into their family. Did you know that every single president of the United States, except one, are all related to one king? They go all the way back to one king that ruled the lands.
I've heard
oh,
that.
It's
wow.
all a friggin' scam, man. They have us, hey, we vote, we're free. You can vote for this hand or this hand connected to the same
Same
monster.
body.
Okay.
Wow.
Right. They have us voting, and then they put a fence around us. It's invisible. It's called the globe. It's a prison for our minds. We don't see the walls.
I'm
I
getting
can
it.
dig
I'm
it.
getting it.
I can dig it.
I can definitely dig that. So, because I'm starting to, like I said, I'm all against, you know, fighting the power and going against the elites. You know what I'm saying? Because I rarely trust anything that I see, because I know how easy that the human eye can be deceived. It's just that for some reason with this particular topic, it's such confrontational, where it's like,
I'll tell you why. The reason is because you were taught the earth is a ball before you can walk and talk. It was on all of the cartoons. It's in all of the children's books. Good Night Moon. You go to school, they got a globe in the front of the class. You go, you know, the first worksheet you bring home is the earth goes around the sun, the moon goes around the earth. You know, they're programming you, and then they teach you about dinosaurs. Kindergartners learn about dinosaurs and how an asteroid came out of the sky and blew up the world and killed all the dinosaurs. So now you have your core belief is fear. You're spinning on a ball out of control. They're hiding God's creation, and that's how you start your life. Okay, bullshit lies the whole way. Right? Throw some Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, and Tooth Fairy in there, and wow, who can you trust now? You can't even trust your
True.
parents.
True. But yeah, back to the whole flat Earth thing with the sun and the moon. So
Flat Earth? Are you kidding me? Come
flat
on.
Earth, because I mean, and shout out to a lot of the fans out there. They support it, and you know, and they gave us a lot of feedback on that video, saying, "Hey, you guys, listen, whatever like that." That's what we do here. We don't come in with no judgment. We honestly come in to learn stuff, learn things, and
Judging, but I want to
But-
learn too.
well, yeah, fights are judging, you know what I'm saying? But that's just fights. But but you know, me and Tokyo, we here because we learn, and like I said, I honestly agree with a lot of stuff that you say. I say that all the time, but just in a different way. But to kind of stay back on track for those who are watching, the fans of this. So do you consider the sun a star, or is it as big as they try to make it out to be, or you're saying it's maybe just
So
obviously smaller than the
so
Earth,
when
but
you
yeah.
when you were a young kid and you had your magnifying glass and you were burning the ants and the anthills, don't tell me you didn't, because I know you did it. Okay. And
Yeah,
you
I
got
did.
that little focused point of light right on the top of the anthill. If you lift it up 5 inches in the air, the light's gone, right? But
Mhm.
that focus point is 5 inches above the ground now. Okay. You just can't see it. Here's the sun. This is actual footage of the sun at 120,000 feet. The balloon's at 120,000 feet. This thing ain't much higher. Okay.
Yeah.
You got a glass dome above us. What if the source of the sun is above there and it's focusing that point of light right there?
Mm.
The dome is intensifying the light of God, right? The sun feeds us. You can relate the sun, the S-U-N, to the S-O-N. Everything is the same. The sun walks on water. You have a personal relationship with the sun, feeds you, warms your heart, gives you life, makes the trees grow. Maybe the sun, so if stars are souls and we're having one of those stars is my main soul and it's down here having this experience now, maybe this sun is the light of God and it had different manifestations down here. Maybe one was called Jesus, maybe one was called Buddha, maybe one was called Muhammad. Maybe that had many rounds and many stories of, and basically they're down here trying to spread the good word of be nice. Don't break anyone's free will. Maintain control of your soul. This is a magical place, but somebody hijacked it. Some rat bastards that are running this place, soulless bastards, are running this world, and they've convinced you to comply. Imagine if everybody tomorrow woke up and said, we're not listening to anything the government says, from the whole COVID thing to any laws, anything. We're not doing anything that's involved with the government. What could they do? They could do nothing. We wouldn't even notice them complaining because there's so few of them.
Yep. I agree.
But they have us running scared, fighting with each other. They divided us by countries, divided us by religion, race, sex, color, all the way down. Now they're dividing us families. Don't touch your grandma. Put a bag over your fucking head. Cover your face. So now, like this, you can't communicate like this. Okay. You know that Fauci wrote a paper about in the 1920 Spanish flu, where 100 million people died. I think it's more. The vast majority died from bacterial infections from wearing masks. He wrote a fucking paper on it, and nobody gives a shit.
It goes to show you some piece.
People, they tell us everything. Here, let me show you something. I don't know if I showed you this last.
I'm just thinking about that part, and it's one of those. Is it taken into complete context? Like, did he say somewhere in that paper that, that many people died because they were wearing masks, because they weren't changing the mask, they weren't cleaning the mask,
bacterial infections.
So they were breathing in the same thing over and over, and that's how they got sick. Because even like right now, you're supposed to, wash your mask or
wait a minute. You know what? Here's something. Every 10 minutes, I want you to take your hat and rub it in the crack of your ass, because I'm telling you, that's what you need to do. Are you going to do it? I'm ordering you to do it.
What's the benefit?
Because it'll keep you healthy. It'll keep your butt smelling nice. Okay. All right. My point is, who are these fuckers to tell you what to do? You're responsible for your own health. Are you going to infect somebody? Or either one of you, if you go hug an old person right now, are they going to die because you hugged them?
Nah.
Okay. It's nonsense. It's nonsense. I don't want to say too much because you'll get a strike on YouTube. So yeah, because Susan Wojcicki just won the free speech award. Right? She won the free speech award. That's like Obama winning the Nobel Peace Prize. So check this out. You guys saw the app, right? You guys know the app.
Yeah,
so if you're standing here, see my mouse, and you're in the Arctic. The Arctic. This is the Arctic. What's this out here called?
Antarctica.
Okay. So there's the Arctic and the Antarctic. So I'm standing here and I'm watching the sun. What's the sun doing? That kind of goes with my name, Arctic. It's going around me in a big
arc.
arc.
Yeah.
If I'm standing here, what's it doing? Is it going around me? No. It's doing an antarc. Antarcing away from me. Antarctica, Arctica, Arctic, Antarctic. Right?
I can dig it.
Yeah.
I can dig it.
There you go.
I can definitely dig it. I for me, I've always tried to question everything. This is one of those things where I did get enlightened by our last time you came on. So it's very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. But I know a lot of them were trying to convince us to be like, hey, come on over to the side. I was just trying to figure this whole thing, try to piece it together.
Did we do Flight Pass last time? We did. Oh, fuck. I just did it again. Sorry. I'm swearing a lot.
Oh, no, that's fine.
I
It's not
just,
for kids.
I keep deleting when I go to open up a picture and I hit delete, and then I have to go find it again. All right, go ahead. You got another question?
No, it's just
Okay.
it's just weird because I mean I'm with you guys on challenging things and seeing things from a different perspective. And I guess with that original question that I asked, for me, like I said after the last podcast, I was like, well, I'm not going to get the app. I'm not going to go start researching because like the question I just asked was, well, what difference does it make? Like for me, is it going to make my life better or worse tomorrow?
It's going to make your life better.
But that's you telling me that, and that's the same thing as you saying, well, who's to say who's healthy and who's not, or what's going to make you healthier?
The analogy was my apartment. You're in this giant apartment building that has no doors and windows. You're happy as can be in there because that's all you know.
Right, but that's the same thing as, well, all right, you're taking me out of darkness and now you're putting me in the light.
Exactly.
Now I'm afraid. Now I'm more afraid than I've ever been in my life.
Why? Well, what are you afraid of? This is, once you understand what this place is, there's nothing to be afraid of. I used to be afraid of death. I'm not afraid of death, right? I want to live.
But you have to get to that point.
Yeah, I got to that point, dude. If I could do it, you could do it. If I could do it, you could do it, man.
I hear you. It's just one of those deals where it's just
you're
asking people to step off of the ledge and expect.
I'm asking you to stop just believing nonsense and to wake up. And guess what? If you're the only one of your friends that knows the earth is flat, so be it. They'll come around eventually. Would you rather know the truth or live a lie? I mean, you're living a massive lie right now. And if you just want to fit in, well, that sucks. You're going to look back at your life one day and go, I wish I freaking listened to that guy. Buenos Aires to Perth, 2 major cities. Plenty of people want to travel. This will be the shortest route. Can't fly over Antarctica because, they don't allow you to. So let's say you just go around Antarctica. That would be the shortest path, right? Well, this is the actual path. Instead of going, around and popping up over here magically, they go from here. They stop in Miami or Houston. Then they stop again in LA. Then they stop in Sydney. And then they go over here 26 hours or something like that. Or they go this way to Europe, to Singapore, and to Perth. It's like 4 times as long as going around the bottom of a ball, but they can't because that doesn't exist. No one's ever done it. This alone proves that the earth is flat.
That was I was about to Erica too about the flights, because I've been on many flights, and that's very interesting because I've watched at the airport the routes that these airplanes take, and I've also been curious about why don't they just go to the right? And they're just
they lie about the routes too. They lie about the routes. The emergency landings prove that they're totally lying. There was a flight from let me see if I can find it, from flight from, where did it go? Los Angeles, is this it? Los Angeles to Perth. Flying out here, goes right over Hawaii, that would be the shortest path. But there was an emergency here. I think maybe it was another flight, but there was an emergency right near Hawaii. Instead of landing there or continuing, it went all the way up to Alaska, right? And why does it go all the way up to Alaska? Because this is the real flight route they're taking. They come here, boom, emergency happened right there. Alaska is right there. And then they continue on. Hawaii is way out here. These flight routes prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that, the earth is flat. If you don't even want to get the app, but there's a book called 16 Emergency Landings Prove Flat Earth. And it's because when they have to make these emergency landings, they go to the closest airport. None of these 16 make any sense on a ball. They all make perfect sense on a flat earth. Yeah. You know what? I'll tell you something, Robert. That's the biggest problem. People are like, what difference does it make? I don't want to look into this. And that's, you say you don't want to be, you're afraid you'll be fearful. You're not looking into it because you're fearful, right? Because nobody likes admitting their entire life is a lie. It ain't your fault, right? I'm older than you, so I lived a longer life than you. You flip now, then you beat me by decades. Okay, so what's the, there's nothing to be afraid of, but people don't like admitting they've been lied to. It's easier to fool somebody than to convince them they've been fooled.
Well, no, so like I know in the last pod, towards the end, I brung up Zeitgeist, and that was like my first glance into Zeitgeist. Yeah, that was my first glance into basically this way of living, and yeah, it definitely changed the way I perceive the world. It's just,
don't you like do you watch the news at all? Occasionally you watch the news, right?
Yeah, occasionally, yeah.
All right. Well, that's poison for your mind. But you ever hear a report where they use the words Kim Jong-un, North Korea, and nuclear bombs? You've heard that plenty of times, right? What if you knew for a fact? What happened?
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I think you froze, buddy. It's all
right. Okay, yeah, it kicked me out and just let me back in.
Am I back?
No, not you, dude. This is
okay. All right.
Arrive over here.
What if you knew? So you follow my analogy. What if you knew that nuclear bombs didn't exist? What if you knew that for a fact? Undeniable fact. Then anytime you hear Kim Jong-un, North Korea, nuclear bombs, you could laugh instead of be nervous. Okay? I'll give you a spoiler alert. Nuclear bombs don't exist, right? Crow 777 Radio, look up the nuclear bombs episode. You just need that 1 hour podcast, and then you will know, not believe. Belief is the enemy of knowing that nuclear bombs don't exist. And then, so now you have less fear. What about this? How many times have you heard that there's going to be an asteroid that eventually hits Earth? They keep missing us every other day. One day an asteroid's going to hit us. What if you knew, beyond a shadow of a doubt, there's no such thing as asteroids? You hear that global warming is going to melt the ice. The waters are rising. Al Gore said by the year 2000 or whatever, the Florida is going to be underwater. Well, it's 2021. Okay. I've lived in the same town for 57 years. I'm in the water all the time. The water hasn't risen a friggin' inch. Okay. It's the same as it was. The rock walls are where the rock walls are. They haven't moved. They're still there. Water hasn't risen at all. What if you knew that there's endless water, that there's endless free energy, right? And that we're not going to run out of fossil fuels because we don't need imaginary fossil fuels. What if you knew airplanes only used a tiny bit of fuel, if any at all? Okay.
It wouldn't shock me.
What if you knew that all of these terror attacks and school shootings weren't what they said they were, and that you really don't have to worry about them? I think it removes fear. Knowledge removes fear. Living in darkness, where you guys are in darkness, you have fear, and you have so much fear that you're afraid to look.
I understand. I can dig it. Like I always been have a rebellious mind to it. But I also understand where fights are coming from too.
Well, no. So my thing is this: I always just question where you get the knowledge from. Like when we were talking to the nurse about COVID, I was just like, well, all right, well, you say this isn't true because they don't get it right, but then they get my cell phone right, or they get the speed of my car right, or they got gravity right. Well, you believe all of this, but you don't want to believe that.
Who got gravity right? Gravity is just a theory.
Well, but what I'm saying is
so
I
hear what you're
live
saying.
our life around the science of one thing.
No, that's wrong. You hear the word science and you think it's science. Science is just a word. Science, we love science. We use science. Like we use their globe math to show that we can see too far. We can see things that are way beyond where we should be able to see them, right? There's no curvature. We know that you can't have high pressure next to low pressure or no pressure, the vacuum of space. It can't exist. It's an impossibility. You can't have a burning ball of gas or a ball of gas in space. You know, you can't see something 100 times bigger than the sun at 2 light hours away, right? 2 light hours. And the closest star is 4.5 light years away. Okay. None of it makes any sense. But once you understand that we are here, we're not spinning out of control, lost in space. We are in this very safe, created place where we have ultimate power and nobody has dominion over us. Whoa, I don't even know what fear is anymore.
Game over. Game over. So are you because this is the first time I've heard the flat earth theory. In all honesty, I think about, what was it, like 6 years ago, folks? I
Flat
trolled
Earth
him like,
reality, globe Earth theory. Go ahead.
so I was thinking, are you, so obviously you don't think, I don't know if you believe that gravity is a thing. So are you one of the ones that, I remember was seeing a theory about saying like buoyancy explains like the whole.
Yeah, well, so buoyancy and density are a real thing. Here's how it works. The sun and the moon are the anode, the cathode and anode. The sun's the cathode of the battery system. The moon is the anode. It sends electricity. The salt water carries the current. The land is the salt bridge, and that's where this free energy comes from. The earth has a negative charge to it. So first, let's start off, take away all of that.
Mhm.
You got a handful of rocks and ping pong balls. And if I drop them, they're all going to fall through the air because they're more dense than the air. But if I drop them over a swimming pool, the ping pong balls are going to sit on top of the water and the rocks are going to go to the bottom because the ping pong balls are less dense in the water. The rocks are more dense. Buoyancy and density sorts everything out. So what some people say, it's just buoyancy and density, but I say, imagine this, I got a handful of rocks and ping pong balls, and then you snap your fingers and the entire earth disappears. All of it just disappears. So now there's no earth, and I drop them, I let them go. Why would they go down? Why wouldn't they go that way? Why wouldn't they just stay where they are? Why wouldn't they go that way? You know, right? So here's how it works. The earth has a measurable negative charge to it. Measurable negative charge. That negative charge, it has an attraction force to it. And as you raise up from the earth, there's voltage in the air. 100 volts at 1 meter, 200 volts at 2 meters, and it goes up from there. There's serious voltage in the air. They powered the world's fairs with this free energy. Tesla knew how to use it. He probably was from Tataria. But so now that negative, the earth isn't moving. The earth will not move. So that negative charge says, hey, down's this way. I'm a very weak force, but down's this way. Then buoyancy and density sort everything out from there. Okay. So how can we test this? Well, what if we countered that negative charge? So here's a little test if I can find it, because everything just moved. There we go. Where'd it go? So they have this, where did it go? Come on. So the earth has this negative charge. So if we added a negative charge to something, would it counter the downward force of the earth? And if I could find the video where I show you, here it is. So this is a tinfoil triangle, and we put a negative charge into it, bam, it goes up. Because it's repelling from the negative charge of the earth.
I'm not gonna lie, you convinced me bit by bit, Dave. I'm not gonna lie, because I've heard about the buoyancy and the density.
Buoyancy and density is real. Even if gravity was real, buoyancy and density are still true. Right. But never has any test shown that mass attracts mass. You know, the one guy did this thing with 2 giant lead balls in a barn on a pivot, and they attracted to each other. There's so many things, static electricity, breezes, so many things are wrong with that experiment. It's the dumbest thing ever. If that was true, you could take a plumb bob and go near Mount Everest. It should swing to the side a little bit, but it doesn't. Down is down for everybody, even people that live in the land out over. Down is down for them. Down is down for me. Up is up. Point up, boys. Which way is up? Up. Yeah. Look, it's the same direction.
Yeah.
If you were in Australia, it's still up. Right. Up is up.
Right.
Up is not down.
I'm lost on this part.
So pretty much from what I learned, pretty much is like, so it's like a magnet, opposite attracts, right? So
no. I'm talking like where this part of the conversation where it started.
I asked the question because I was like, because you had brought up gravity, And that was
Yeah.
probably one of my questions. I was just like, I remember seeing the theory of saying like, very early on, I can't remember who did it, man. I gotta do better. But in the video, the guy was saying that there's no such thing as gravity. It's all about buoyancy and density. That explains why, like what he was saying, like with the rocks, like if you put the rocks in the water, whatever it is, sink down because it's more dense than the water. So of course it's going to fall. It's outside of the ping pong balls that would sit on top because they're less dense than the actual water.
Correct.
Is it because it's a sealed container?
I'm not sure what
Like
you're saying.
like if you wouldn't the ping pong ball go down if
it's less dense. It'll fall.
Yeah, it's less dense than the actual water in itself.
So you're just saying just the air within the ping pong ball.
Well, it doesn't matter.
I think I'm getting stuck on the object, the ball, but I know what you guys are saying is just like the ball will sink if something was inside of that ball.
Yeah,
if the density of that ball, if it was more dense than the water, it would go to the bottom. Cruise ships stay on top of the water because even though they weigh a ton, even though they weigh a crap ton, they're less dense than the water with the amount of air that they have in them.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Because like on boats, like I don't know if you noticed, but like a lot of times the boats that have like these water fording things, even the big ones where they're getting the water out, because if the water keeps filling up in there, it's gonna make it dense.
Check us out. We got this metal plate here. This is called a Van de Graaff generator. It's like a Tesla tower, and we could create a negative charge. So we're putting a negative charge on this, and then we put different particles under here. This is wood, and as soon as that negative charge gets stronger than the Earth's pull, they go up. Iron tablets. It's hard to see, but they're all going up.
Yeah,
we do paper. This is some human hair. They go up because the negative charge is stronger than the Earth's negative charge. So it's not anti-gravitics, it's electromagnetics.
That makes a lot of sense, not gonna lie.
So did we get in any space fakery?
I don't think we did. Now we can get to the space figure.
So on the space station, we catch them faking stuff all the time. They were playing with a lemon. The lemon went away, and he went and grabbed the lemon. It's not real. It's augmented reality. Watch, his finger goes right through the lemon, and they fade it out.
Oh wow!
Right? Why would they need to do that? Right there, you know that we're not in space. They're faking everything in space. Look at that. And look at the watch. Why is that watch moving like that? None of it's real. None of it.
That's crazy.
Right? The way, the ability to fake things now are beyond what most minds can imagine. When they do the space station tour, the person's hanging from wires in a green screen studio, and when they pull themselves, they're not moving. They're pulling the entire CGI space station through where they are. That way they can always flip around. They can pull it this way. They're looking at monitors and they're pulling the whole station. So if I'm hanging and I went like this, I pulled, it would look like I'm flying down the hallway, but I'm actually making the hallway fly down me. Okay? Yeah.
That was my only real smart question. It was the buoyancy. That's the only thing I really knew as far as actually knew a little bit about.
Yeah. So, I mean, they float on the space station, right? I'm floating on the space station, right? And then if I grab this handle, I'm not there. Like I grabbed that handle and I pulled it, I would go flying down the hallway. But in reality, I'm pulling it and the whole space station is flying through me. And to you, it looks like I'm flying down there. And that way I can take a right and I can take a left. I can go down this hallway. I can flip around upside down because I'm just flying. I'm on my harness. It's how they do it. These friggin' ballers, they just can't see it. More questions?
How about so you've been quiet, Tokyo?
I mean, I don't have no more questions.
Did I show you my flat Earth kitchen? Because that's a good.
No.
I didn't show you my flat Earth kitchen.
Hey, nah.
So my kitchen is just like the flat Earth, but let me find it again because when I delete one picture, everything moves. So now I can't remember. I don't. It
Yeah,
doesn't
where's
matter if
that?
I remember. Everything just
Now I know
shuffles.
what it means. Every time when you said that the first time, I was like, that doesn't make it. That yeah, it makes sense. That makes sense.
Here it is. Got it. So here I am. So I got a camera at the height of this line. This piece of string is level, and I'm just moving my artificial sun across the line. So this is the path of the sun. And right here, these are, you can say they're mountains. It could be a cloud deck, whatever, but the sun is above it and it's moving by it. And I'm showing you. So now I'm going to show you from the other end. I have a camera that's on the flat earth counter looking up at that line. And when you look up at it, look at the line. It kind of looks like it's going down.
Yeah.
Right? It's level. And look, the sun is going to set due to perspective by there. So now I'm going to zoom in even more. That level line, look at this level line. This is a level line. It looks like it's going almost straight down. Right? Now I'm going to compare it to a real sunset. Okay? So here we go. This is the real sunset. But look, it doesn't set below this the horizon's not here. Look, it's setting up here.
Yeah.
That's the atmospheric deck of opacity. Okay. That's where the cloud deck is, that the moisture layer. It becomes so dense that the sun will just go beyond it. Looks exactly like what I'm doing here. Our sun is just going straight over our heads. That's how it works.
I'm definitely going to test that out in my kitchen. I'm definitely gonna test that out in my kitchen. That's very dope.
Yeah,
but yeah,
it goes straight down, bam. But it's really level. That sun is moving level. Both of those suns are moving level. And when there's different places in the world at different times of the year, you watch the sun. It's clearly not going down. It's clearly going away. Does that look like it's going down? Does it look like the fool on the hill sees the sun going down when the eyes in his head see the world spinning round?
Wow.
There you go. There's nothing to be afraid of. Knowledge is power. Seriously, power. Listen to that podcast I sent you. Subscribe to that podcast if you want to learn. Like listen to one show every couple days, and by the time you're done, you'll be a completely different person.
There's also, I'm gonna put it in the graphic at the bottom and in the description.
So, yeah,
because if you do it every day, you're gonna go insane.
Well, yes and no.
I'm joking around.
Like some people have a long commute. You know, they have an hour commute into New York City from where I am. So you listen to hour 1 on the way in and hour 2 on the way home, rather than just vegetating. And, what are you going to do? Read the newspaper? That's poison for your mind. Okay.
Absolutely.
So, all right, boys, it was fun.
Thank you once again for coming on and educating.
Yeah.
I know.
And how many, which one of you has the app? Just one of you?
I do. So I do.
Did you watch today's daily video with Ruth?
I did not watch today's daily video, but I have to do better. Because all day was like, I got the app in it.
You have is it iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
So to go into your iPhone notifications, scroll down to FE clock and make sure you turn on the notifications, right? You get one notification a day. It'll tell you what the video is about. It's a short video. It's like a 4-minute video. And you'll just watch it for 7 days in a row, 2 weeks, and you'll know that you don't live on a spinning ball, and you'll just get smarter and smarter.
True. And also, I'm gonna have that information for his app also.
Right.
And where you can find his channel and then podcast, and that's also gonna be in the description, just like the last time.
The Flat Earth Podcast, you can find everything there.
There you go. They'll be all right there in the links.
Right. And just make sure when you go to the app, they're already ghosting it in the Google Play Store, hard for some people to find. And there's another app by the same name, crappy app by a bunch of Globers, which are trying to gatekeep your mind. Feel free to get it, but don't send me an email telling me my app sucks, because it doesn't. My app is the one that has the highest rating of all apps in the App Store. It's the highest rated app in the App Store.
And it's also that logo that's like right here. That logo, the FE.
Blue Water Bay. It's got that FE logo, but the other guys are trying to copy everything, and Google Play doesn't care. They won't take it out, but whatever, that's fine. And just read the reviews. If you're unsure of paying $2.99 for something you'll have for the rest of your life, unlike a half a beer, which is gone in 20 minutes,
I'm a slow
you'll have the app for the rest of your life, right?
Oh yeah. That's definitely, I would recommend it. Like I said, it's gonna definitely be at the bottom. Thank you again, Dave. I appreciate you educating us. And
all right, guys.
with Fikes.
Send me a link when this is up. I'll stick it on the app for you.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. I appreciate it.
All right, man. See ya.
All right. Have a good one.
Thanks, Dave.
Bye.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dave.
All right. You're welcome. Bye.
The Flat Earth Sun and Moon Clock App, a dynamic new app to teach family and friends about where they actually live. The sky is a perfect clock. The sun measures the hours and days. The moon measures the weeks and months. The star constellations measure the seasons and years. 12/12 or 24-hour clock face, or go hands-free. The Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock App with new added features. World Time. See what time it is all around the flat Earth. A true Earth compass that shows true navigation across and around the flat Earth plane. Weather. Tap for detailed local weather information. Know what phase and where the moon is at all times. Watch the sun travel between the tropics for the seasons. Select an amazing background. Add your own or have the app change it to a new one automatically every time you use the app. Add a countdown to your next big date. Learn the truth about our world with the featured video of the day. Web button for additional flat Earth related features, from the mythical curve calculator all the way to Tartaria. While talking to friends, easily pull up pictures that expose the globe lie and shine light on the flat Earth truth. Video playlists in different languages. See the real trade winds circling the flat Earth, and clean screen features. Simply click off the items you don't wish to see. The Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app is the best tool to show your friends and strangers how our flat Earth actually works.